Cayley Spivey, and I'm about to tell you a crazy tour story. So this story comes from one of our first tours ever. I was still touring under the name Small Talks. We had mostly played like house shows. I think we might have had, I don't think we've even gotten to Warped Tour yet. We might have just been around like our first Warped Tour dates and all this stuff, but we were a completely new band. Everything felt really fresh and exciting. This tour was like the peak of my month. I was so excited for it. So every show is going good. We're having a good time. Like, everything's awesome, but obviously we're very tired because, you know, it's a DIY tour, and I'm sure a lot of listeners know how much work goes into that. Like, we don't have anybody to like do the fun stuff like load in or tour manage for us. So, you know, we're up all night, we're doing loads of jobs and performing and just doing it because we love it, but still, it's a lot of work. So we're really, really tired. And I remember being particularly really tired on this night. We're driving to Richmond, Virginia, and we are staying at my friend's house, Emma Oakley, who I know from another band at the time. And I'm really excited to get there because, you know, she's really nice. You know, I know there will be beds there. I get to see my friend. Like, I get to sleep. I'm so excited for sleep. I can't wait. So that's my mindset. I'm really tired. I'm just done with it. I'm beyond excited to get to that place. So we finally pull into the neighborhood, and we are in a all-white van, and it's super old. It was one of the really, really old vans. I can't even remember what year it was, but it was like, I'm telling you, like, really like that thing is dusty. I'm not sure how it survived so many tours, but it did. And we pull up, and you can imagine, as we're turning into this neighborhood, this old van decides right then and there to break down. And not just break down, but break down directly in front of a complete stranger's house, like literally dead center in the middle of their yard, as if we meant to park there. It's just awful. It's so bad, because you can imagine that if you were that stranger in that house and you saw a random white van pull up in front of your yard at 2:30 a.m., something around then, you'd probably freak out too. Think the worst. Who knows? So I'm immediately like, oh my god, we're in Richmond, Virginia. We're literally like maybe 2 minutes like down the street from the house that we're supposed to be staying at. It's 2:30 in the morning, and the van that we're supposed to finish the rest of the tour with isn't working. So I'm kind of in panic mode, but I'm like, at least we're close to the house. It's not a big deal. Like, I can walk there at the worst, and then we'll get the van in the morning, leave a note on it or something like that. The band doesn't want to do that. They kind of talk me out of that. We can't do that. Makes sense. So we decide to call, I think we called AAA, and we tried to get some help, get somebody to come look at it. And around this time that we're like kind of on the phone with AAA, it's only been like a couple of seconds, and like everybody in the van is super tired. We're all dressed in like very raggedy, like dirty clothes. Like, we're just ready to go to bed. We look really sketchy though. Like, we look like super, super sketchy. And this is where it gets really, really bad. Around this time that we're panicking, trying to figure things out, shockingly enough, whoever lives in this house, we never met them, whoever lives in this house is awake, because I turn to my right and look out the van window. There is a guy standing, like, I think he's like an older man. You can kind of only really see his silhouette and like enough of his face to tell that he's like definitely older, but he's standing in the doorway. He has his door open and his screen door is closed, and he's just like hard glaring at the van. And I mean, I would be too. We look sketchy, but I immediately go into, oh my god, he's gonna shoot us, he's gonna call the cops, like, he's gonna come out here and try to fight us. I bet he thinks we're trying to rob him. My head is just swarming with panic. I'm like, this is gonna go terribly. The cops are gonna show up. They're gonna think we're trying to, like, what? How is this all happening so quickly right now? So this guy stands here, he doesn't move. I'm thinking like maybe we should get out of the van, but I don't want to approach him and scare him, because like, I'm sure I would be freaked out if I were in his shoes. And if they started coming towards the house, I would be even more freaked out. We wait like maybe 3 minutes. And literally less than 3 minutes of this man standing at the doorway. He walked away for 2 seconds, came back, and in 3 minutes, there's like 3 cop cars surrounding the van. 3 of them. And we're all like, all of us are sitting in the van. This is like our first tour. We're really nervous. Like, we're just staring at each other like, great, this is gonna be awesome. Like, we're about to deal with some cops right now who totally think we are like already guilty, because why are we in a van? How are we gonna explain that we're some like rock band touring and playing houses? Like, I feel like police don't hear that a lot. They're just gonna be like, yeah, okay, kids, like, whatever. Like, so they come up to the window, and I'm like trying to explain it. I'm like, I promise you, we don't mean to be at this guy's house. Like, We literally just turned into this neighborhood. We're staying with a friend up there, and of course they got like all of our information. They needed to check all of our IDs. They even had one person in the van call their parent to like verify that they're allowed to be on tour, and like all this other stuff. That was our photographer, and like, oh man, it was a really, really crazy experience. They kept asking us questions, and we tried to explain, like, listen, like, you know, we're just doing this for fun. We're on tour. Like, please trust us. We're scared. We're just trying to get our van started. So they go, okay, well, have you tried turning the key and starting it? So obviously everyone in the van is like, duh. Like, of course we turned the key and tried to start it. Do you think we've just been sitting here, like, assuming it's dead? Like, it died, and we obviously did our best to turn it back on. But being nervous kids, we're like just kind of playing dumb. We're like, we don't want to upset the cop. We're not going to smart ass the cop. So we're like, oh, you know, like, we have tried it, but, you know, we'll give it another shot just for kicks and giggles, you know? So we turn the van key. It turns on with no issues. I think we didn't even stutter. Like, so we were sitting there for this whole 10 minutes panicking. This guy calls the cops on us, and the van just starts. Like, no issue at all, after we just struggled for so long, popped the hood and everything, and, like, could not get the van started. These cops are like, they're liars. Right off the bat, we look horrible. We're sitting outside this house. We said our van broke down. We turned it right on when they asked us to. No stutters, nothing. We look so bad right now. Somehow, by like a miracle, the cops decide to trust us, but not fully, because they finally see that our van's on. So we're like, oh, okay, we're good. Well, we're just gonna try to, you know, be going on our way. Like, you've seen our IDs, you know everything about us, like, you know what's up. You've seen the tour flyers. We're gonna just go on with about our night now. So we start to like drive, and we notice that the cops are still following us. So we're like nervous that we're gonna like get to this house, and that like Emma might not be up to open the door, and that we're gonna end up being taken to the station for like, I don't know, suspicious activity or something. We pull up to Emma's house, and we just kind of sit there. We're waiting. The cops come out of the car again, and they like ask us if we need help like carrying our stuff, which was like nice, but like still kind of really scary, because I just feel like they're gonna flip a switch any moment. Like, I don't know, but it was nice. They led us to the house, made sure we got there, or at least in their perspective, they said they were making sure we got there. In my perspective, I was like, oh my god, I'm so scared. I think they don't trust us. Luckily, end of the night, we get all of our stuff. We go inside, get the van checked out in the morning. The person says he can't help us, but luckily we make it to the end of the tour. We don't have any more van issues on that tour. We have plenty of van issues later, but on that tour, that's about it. I guess there's no real aftermath for this story, except for that now I am terrified of being in front of anyone's house at 2:30 in a white van, which seems like a very specific fear, because it is. And then Emma, the person who housed us, ended up being my guitar player now, so Emma's actually in my band. Funny enough. Anyways, that's my crazy tour story. Thank you guys for listening, and yeah, goodbye.